Yo, what it do, what it is, y'all. It's your boy Tell Me Rock. You already know what time it is. You're now tuned in to the infamous No Filter. And as always, I'm joined by my great co-host.
Villain in the white mask, K Quick in the building. You already know Beast Bars and Fake. We out here, you know. Cop that, say less. Available everywhere. K Quick forever rose. Say less. You know the vibes. Yeah.
Man, and of course, this is your man, GIMO, aka GMO. I can't wait.
And I am the Blue Phoenix here and surrounded by family and braiding hair.
Speaking of BBF, Sean is in the building. Shout out Sean in the building. And shout out to everybody else tuning in.
Hey, y'all.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling this week, man?
Lovely. And hold on, you know good and well, we can't talk about nothing until we talk about these drops we just did, dog. We got skits and short films that just flourished all over the place. I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
What the response been like?
So the response has been crazy. For those who haven't seen, we got together over the weekend last Friday and just shot a quick short horror film and shot a new skit. Man, it was like super dope. We get a lot of crazy feedback. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but positive, and people really want to see more. You know what I'm saying? See what's gonna happen. So
That's lit.
It's definitely been pouring in on my side.
Yeah, Sean called me the other day and said that I scared the shit out of her when we watched that shit. That
was lit. Yeah. Hey, look, and if anybody understands, that was impromptu.
Nothing was written on paper. Nothing.
And I have been writing since then, bro. Do you
It's
understand that?
Look
Bro,
at them wheels turning. I love it.
I have been writing since then. We literally have a script for your background as the killer. You heard me? Like, if y'all understand, oh my God, bro. Like, I can't fucking wait. But my week was scary as shit. So Monday, right? I'm on my way home. I gotta talk about this because I gotta vent about this. It was something funny that came out of all of this craziness that happened, right? So I'm on my way home. I feel like my left arm is tingling now. Everybody knows I'm the old man. I'm 40 years old going on 41, right? So my left arm starts tingling. My fingers go numb and shit, right? My chest gets real tight. I'm thinking I'm having a heart attack, right? I just so happen to be at my cardiologist's office, right? So he gives me 5 aspirin. I have to chew, right? I have to chew the fucking aspirin, right? He gives me nitrous oxide. And he gives me amlodipine, which is a high blood pressure medication, right? Yeah, it was a ton of shit, right? So,
God damn.
So as I am going into the ambulance, right? So I'm going to the ambulance. They haul me to Southern Maryland, right? They haul me to S&M, right? I go in there, and they got TVs now in the rooms, right? So I'm just cool and relaxing. I have never had such a hard on. I felt like I was 13. It was achy. It was so hard. My bad, y'all. Hey, gentlemen, close your ears. I was in that bitch for 8 hours, and I have never had the hardest hard-on ever. Gentlemen, it's not Viagra. It is aspirin. Sure, your liver will fail you. Your kidneys will fail you. But you will have the hardest hard-on ever. Yeah. I actually...
It's time to go to war.
Yeah. And yo, I gotta do a light black spin real quick because there has been a thing, primarily GI Mode, who has an unanswered question that has been answered but not answered, that always revolves around what a woman is willing to spend on a man.
Okay.
Now, granted, I gotta actually bring this to my bad. Gravity. I gotta actually bring this here to the light because this is, I personally think, is it good to be pampered? Yeah. I guess. But what I appreciate is the thought. And my significant other hit me with something very, very thoughtful today. As soon as I walk in the door, she hit me with like, I got something like, hey, I got a gift for you. What did she hand me? It's a picture of me and my cousin TMG performing at the Fillmore. You know, this is back when we this was a couple years ago, pre-pandemic, when we were in front of a sold out crowd at the Fillmore, tearing ish up, and she took one of the pictures from that day and blew it up. And that was, and this is one of the most one of the most fire gifts I ever got. Like I said, it's thoughtful.
I'm telling you, I love Felice, boy. She is just so dope.
It's hella thoughtful. She's fire. She is super duper fire. So
yeah,
if you can get up here, ladies. Let me say that again. If you can get up here, ladies. One more time for the folks in aisle 3. If you get up here,
oh my
ladies, you are pretty much good. You have found a way to lock us in, and you won't have to have us complain about us buying you all that K Jeweler stuff, because stuff like that trumps it.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on now. Because, hey, bro, what you got to say, bro? Go ahead.
No, I'm going to say, you know, we dropping jewels out here. You know, we preaching. You talking about aspirin makes the dick hard. You know what I'm saying? Quick about I feel like I need to drop a jewel. You know what I'm saying?
Do you? Drop a jewel, bro. Drop a jewel.
Please.
Don't eat Gaithersburg chicken.
Right? You heard me.
Please don't.
Facts.
Y'all want
to
know what happened? Y'all want to know what happened? Well, here you go, right here.
Oh shit, baby, come here. Hurry up, get the fuck in here. Oh my god.
What?
Taste this.
What?
Do you taste anything?
No, give me that. Oh my god, I don't taste
Oh my
nothing.
god, what the fuck is going on? We got the vid? Oh shit.
Don't say that.
Oh shit, this shit says it kills 99%
Okay, well,
of
give me
drugs.
because I ain't got time for this. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Oh, I got.
Okay, give me it.
Oh shit. I should have never fucked with Papa.
Why you ordering from there?
I'm calling.
Where you order from?
Oh god.
Who is there?
Hello. Consuelo.
Oh my god, Consuela.
Motherfucker, we need more flavor in this chicken. And the mashed potatoes.
Where the hell did you order from?
This is the most foreplay me and my wife have had all year.
Stop telling our business, babe. Where you order from?
Gaithersburg.
Jesus Christ. Shit. You know damn well you're supposed to order from Southeast.
What?
Keisha's supposed to make the
We
fucking
live
chicken.
too goddamn far.
I don't care.
Oh.
You got me worried for nothing, goddamn.
That's why I want your ass to cook from now on.
I was tired from work.
Get your ass out of here.
Stop.
Got me thinking I'm crazy.
Ain't nobody tell you ain't supposed to anyway. God damn it.
That relationship says Martin and Gina all over it. That was some funny shit, yo. I ain't gonna hold you. That was funny as hell.
Retarded, bro. We are too
Hold on.
retarded. And I mean that with the low R, not the hard R.
So, whole time it was based on the true story. We actually did order chicken from Gaithersburg, and it wasn't very seasoned, and it was at Popeyes.
Yeah. Hey, look, that's a subject that we have not discussed. Okay, so I guess everybody here, we love tacos, right? Everybody here loves tacos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put your ones up. I know everybody like that. I know everybody love the motherfucking tacos. You heard me? Phoenix, you?
I agreed while you were busting off in the sky, yes.
Okay. Hey, look, Rock put the one up. You heard me? But listen, the one thing that they forget, and we get fooled by, is that they got to cook Americana. Have we ever had El Salvadorian fried chicken? No.
I have not.
Have we ever had Mexican fried chicken?
Nope.
I will say one fried chicken that I haven't had that a lot of my folks overseas. I have not had fried chicken from the United Kingdom yet, and a lot of my folks over there said as soon as I touch down, that's the first thing they want me to try.
Yeah,
just
wrong
to
answer,
compare.
bruh. You gonna want the fried cod. That's what they brag about, okay? But I have had Korean fried chicken, bomb, double fried. I have had fried dog from most I ain't gonna say the restaurants, but you know. Has anybody here? Oh man, we got the Russian hacker in here. Yo, what it do, boy? Ernest Hinman. Yeah. But every other culture, for the most part, the way they grow up, they don't have a lot of access to vegetable oil or seasonings like that, right? So a lot of their food is flavored very flatline. You dig what I'm saying? It's just straight across, right? They actually get most of their flavor from their hot sauces. Popeyes. If you're going to hire all my Hispanic homies from all regions of South America, you're going to have better hot sauces.
Oh, in Nevada.
Man, how do your fry? Now, this is my main complaint. How many people here, and I want y'all to put the ones up, right? How many people have been to McDonald's in D.C. and it's ran by the Hispanic community and the fries are unsalted? I will wait. I will wait.
But they usually are always crispy, though. So.
I didn't ask you that.
I'm telling you.
I'm asking you, did they come with any goddamn flavor, young? Look at you always trying to be positive. Well, you know, I do deal with a Hispanic woman at my job. No.
Hold on, sir. You said who or how many, and I said me. And then I went to the crispy part of the French fry.
So, see, Nick, she agrees. Put your ones up if you've ever been to a McDonald's in downtown D.C. or uptown that was ran by a majority Hispanic community, and the fries you had to ask for sal. O pasite la sal, por favor.
Hold on.
That's all I'm asking.
And then they look at you like you said something wrong.
Let me counter
It's
real
like
quick. So, hold on. You've eaten fries out here in the Gaithersburg community, and them Jones is perfectly salted. Now I don't know what the fuck. There must be some haters because they be throwing the salt out of that shit. I'm trying to tell you.
Are you sure that everybody there is Hispanic?
Yeah, bro. Trust me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, may I say this? My genitalia should not be more saltier than the fries. I like a little high blood pressure with my fries.
Are you trying to make people not eat fries again?
What do you mean,
are you
bro?
Really trying?
Like, what do you mean?
Why would you use that comparison? Why would you do that?
Quick, did you walk on quick?
Out of all, I got my camera. You know what? Hold on.
What the?
Woo.
He's gone. He's tired. Reference to his genitalia being softer than the damn fruit.
I want my fries to taste like how I've had women complain about a hard day's work and having to go down on me. I want to hear that.
Okay, stop it right now.
I was going to walk outside, but the top lock was locked, and I didn't feel like undoing it.
So let me ask you this. So amongst everybody, right? So amongst the fold, right? What's up, Nikki? We was just talking about you two off camera. It's good to see you and everybody that's here, right? But we were talking about this earlier. Who doesn't like season on their fries? Give me a one.
The salt count is season.
Bruh, what the fuck else do you put on your fries?
I'm just saying. Oh, so you mean, I'm just saying.
The basic seasoning, like when you get them.
All right, cool. I got you.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. At first, I was like fries with no seasoning is terrible. Now, because wifey be on this health kick and she be ordering shit on DoorDash with no salt. You feel me? They don't always put salt on my fries, so I end up eating my fries with no salt. And as long as they're hot, it don't taste that bad.
I mean, I do it. I mean, I do it without salt, bruh. Like, I don't even eat salt no more. Like, if anything, if I was to season my fries, the first thing I put on there is garlic salt. That's what I use instead of actual salt.
It's salt.
Whatever, bro. But like
garlic
I said,
doesn't come with salt.
It's a substitute, bro. The same way there's
salt
almond milk,
makes garlic taste
almond milk, rice milk. You know what I'm saying? It's a substitute. But either way, I say
actually, almond milk. Hold on,
say what now?
Optimus Mo.
I said, y'all are fucking around.
Bro, why I low-key thought that was your real voice at first.
It basically is, though. If I lower it enough, y'all are fucking around.
You don't need no damn effects.
Hey, can you do me a favor, bro? Can you do it?
You said what?
Can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Can you give me your best Blue Phoenix morning impression in that way?
Oh, are you ready? Okay, all right. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me turn my camera off real quick. Hold on, real quick.
Y'all, you got to hone Phoenix in so we can get the visual of it being her.
No.
I would like to give everybody the most blessed niggerish day.
Wait a minute! Don't forget the speech impediment. You gotta add that in there.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh.
You gotta turn the voice on, bro.
Yeah. Oh, okay. My bad.
So, everybody, if you haven't had the most glorious day,
Oh my God.
I pray that your draws have healed yourself and your partner. It is the most beautiful afro ever born of a JJ.
Can you just feel this?
Yes. Yes.
Can you just feel the saliva just busting?
Yeah.
Yo, y'all ain't shit.
I am the Blue Phoenix. And you can see me the most preposterous times of the day with my fade. You can all meet up for steam sauna for the vagina. I want everybody's clitoris to heal. I am the Blue Phoenix. Yes. Anything you would like to say, the Blue Phoenix? I get on your nerves.
Oh my God.
I on your nerves?
I'm crying right now, yo. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm fucking crying.
Hey, bro. Hey, look, I gotta say it now. I think I gotta do favorite episode.
Hey, look. Hey, listen. I ain't done yet, too. I can warm her ass up all night. You hear me? Hey, look, and Quick know what time it is. That's the problem. Yeah. She couldn't say nothing back because I was saying everything she was about to say.
Oh man, my stomach hurting. I hate Mo with a passion, I swear.
Hey, look, hold on. I'll put you in the back so Mo before.
Oh my God.
Do you have any words for Sonya in any words?
Fuck Sonya.
This is why they can't. This is why they can't get black folks sound effects. Like, I swear. Oh my god!
We gotta bring it back. What up, Unc? How you doing?
Oh man, y'all don't make no sense.
Oh man. This is officially my new. Everybody remember this date.
I'm not gonna forget it. I'm not gonna forget this shit. Yo. Look, Phoenix, I pray you don't ever get to forget. I pray you don't miss an episode, because if you do, we will bring the substitute Phoenix in real quick. We will bring the substitute Phoenix in quickly, immediately, expeditiously.
Well, I'll be played by somebody who knows me and a weirdo.
Like we gonna get, if Lifetime do a documentary or do a film on you, we gonna have Mo do the voiceover, like straight up.
All day. All day in the paint.
This is legit. Oh my gosh, my stomach still hurts.
Okay, so look, now that we got y'all warmed up and laughing and shit, I gotta get it serious real quick. So hold on. Actually, no, our guest is in the back.
Hey.
So before we get serious real quick, we're gonna go ahead and bring our guest on. Quick, do me a favor, go ahead and give him a great intro real quick.
Oh, don't mind if I do. We have a very, very, very talented young individual coming in. He stars in a multi-award winning series that we had the pleasure, that some of us had the pleasure of seeing the official big screen viewing for. He is the host of his own podcast. He has a reach that stretches overseas. He's going to tell us all about it. This guy has his hand, especially for his age, one of the most professional individuals I have ever met. Has a whole bunch of business endeavors, has his hands in a lot of stuff. Let's bring in my man, Timon. Let's bring him in.
Hey.
What's good?
Hey, Timon.
What's good, my guy?
Hold on, you muted, bro. Hold on.
Oh, check it. There we go.
No, it won't let him unmute.
Make sure you. It won't let him unmute.
Can you unmute him?
I'm trying to.
Okay, we got some tricky shit going on.
Timon, check your audio.
Can you hear us? Throw up a 1 if you can hear us.
Thank you, bros. Don't mind us, folks. We're having some tech difficulties here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get him back in. We're going to get him back in.
For sure. He'll come back.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, man, look. My stomach hurts from laughing.
Yeah, that's wild.
I got to say one more time, bro. You're a fucking fool.
Idiot.
I am
ignorant.
What I am.
Ignorant.
Oh, man. Hey, you want to know something? We might have to do
what would Phoenix think?
Yeah,
my voice. Yeah, you got to give me that segment. I need a what would Phoenix say?
What would Phoenix say? What would Phoenix?
You got to translate for it. She got to say something, and then you got to say what it means.
I just wanted to pull my PG County shirt up. Yeah,
hey, I'm gonna need
a lot of representatives around here.
Your new name in the chat is gonna be Red Phoenix.
Okay, hold on. See right here in the back. All right, let's see.
Let's bring him back. Hey, there he is. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, bro?
Yo.
Hey.
Whatever you do, don't look so angry.
Hey, I can hear now. So.
Hey, there we go. We can hear you too, man. How you doing, man? What's going on, bro?
I'm doing good. Literally as soon as you was about to do the intro, all I heard was talented young man, and then like my phone just was like, nope, not today. So,
well, trust me,
I refreshed and it was like you were talking in like super slow motion. So I'm like, what in the world?
Oh man, you missed the intro. That intro was impeccable, yo. impeccable, dog.
But I was here for all the other stuff because I literally was gonna come in and I was gonna do my own little accent because you guys literally was just like doing a little computer off like computer voice. So I was gonna come in like this, guys. How you doing? It's Elmo.
Yo, he hit the Elmo.
Oh, word.
Oh, damn. Why you sound like oh no? Damn.
Because I'm talented, you know.
I feel you, bro. You are, man. Like, because granted, you are in a very critically acclaimed film series, you know, Rise of the Golden Goons. Won a whole, won a lot of awards at film festivals, man. Like, tell us about your character in that film, in that series. There.
So I gotta make sure I'm keeping my character under what has been seen so far because I can't really tell.
Yeah, tell us what's within your contract.
Yeah, yeah. So, basically from the trailer, and if you were able to come out and see the first, I believe, 3 episodes, you get to slowly see my character go from just this kid that's trying to skip school into an area and situation he doesn't want to be in, where he's now seeing somebody get shot in broad daylight, now has to join this group because he's forced to at the end of the day. And so, you know, he starts out a little timid, but as the show progresses, you guys can get to see how my character develops.
That's dope. That's dope.
Now, key to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
For all the young actors or aspiring actors or thespians, as they like to say, how do you channel the anger, or how do you get so serious? Like, did you ever take any acting schools, like any secular schools to act?
So from elementary to middle school, I was in a performing arts school. So it was a mix of me doing like a whole bunch of different curriculars. So they had us take every type of art form, being quite literally art to music to theater to dance. Dance was my least favorite because I can't dance. But I did participate in the theater department in my 8th grade year, right before I joined Eastern's band, which I'm currently still am in. I auditioned for one of the plays for the school and got accepted as one of the roles. I had to drop it though because the band was more important at the time.
Okay.
That's lit. Now, I asked you this earlier, but how do you tap into your emotions without feeling embarrassed afterwards? Because see, you still a youngin'. So you still, you know what I'm saying? You still around the fellas and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's embarrassing to tap into your emotions on camera?
I don't feel like that is the case. I feel I know what you're relating to, like a lot of young men, and they don't feel the need to express themselves and show themselves at a vulnerable state. And I don't feel as though I have a problem with that because I know who I am at the end of the day, and nobody can change that, regardless of whether it be my parents or my friends. If you can't accept me for me, then at my worst, then you can't accept me at my best. So if I'm breaking down in character, that might be how I actually break down. You never know.
Can we get an applause for that, please?
So with that being said, getting prepared for this role right here. Now, this is within family, right? The actual writer and basically director is your first bloodline, right? You are first gen actor, and you know what I'm saying? You're taking direction from your father, correct?
Mi padre.
Yeah, mi padre. Tu padre, excuse me. So how did that feel, taking direction from your father outside of disciplinary actions? Like, how did it feel to tap into your emotions? Does he have to push you, or is this just something that he groomed you to be?
So in terms of like, depending on the role, so it seems where I might be angry or like upset. And so it was a period of my time where I was depressed. So it wasn't hard remembering how it felt to be like, yo, I'm like really sad and upset. Like the way that I used to walk around and talk, I remember that. And so I can be like, my character, if I'm having to play a sad role, just tap into that little dark path, or if I'm gotta play an angry role. I hate being angry, but it has to be done. Let me get mad real quick. Because you could turn the switch on at a dime. Like I could go from being happy and jovial, and then I'm just sitting here mad because I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, why y'all taking this long to do stuff? Like, like where's my money? Like,
so what would you say throughout this series in particular, or throughout any film project you did, what was one of the biggest struggles or one of the biggest things you had to overcome on set?
Not looking in the camera.
Really? That was that how long was it? That was a problem for you at one point?
Yes. So you guys, I have a YouTube channel, and when I'm doing that, like looking in the camera all day, you want to look in the camera when you're acting on stage. You want to look at the audience. So if something's near me and like I have to give my attention to that, I look at it. And even with just like being a black teen and in the neighborhood, you're always looking over your shoulder. So if you see something like in the corner of your eye, you just glance at it real quick. So I see the camera, I'm like, what's that?
Yeah, that's fun. That's cool. That's cool, man.
What's crazy?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
You mentioned being a black kid in the neighborhood. I'm sorry for a lot of people I'm doing here, but you mentioned being a black kid in the neighborhood. Does your character reflect your neighborhood or what you had to deal with every day?
I wouldn't say that necessarily, as my character embodies me to an extent, but at the same time, I have to get to a level where it's an outer body experience. So, like the biggest relatability I can have with that is like my GTA character. I'm not gonna go to strip clubs. I'm not gonna go out and shoot people. I'm not gonna rob banks. But if my character gets to that point in his progression where he's killing people, going to clubs, having sex with like 7 different people at a time, that's my character. But yeah.
You must have had 5 aspects.
Repeat that.
I'm sorry, you missed that part. Go ahead.
So, question: as an actor, because as an actor, when you look at different actors, and when I watch different actors' interviews, when they talk about different roles they played, and whether there's certain actors who look back on certain roles they did, and some of them regret taking certain roles, or they regret doing certain things in certain films, or or they reflect forward and they express what kind of roles they wouldn't take. So my question to you, at this point in your life right now, or in your career, as I should say, is there anything that you feel that you would not do as an actor on camera?
All right, so before I say this, I want to say...
I think that's unfair to say. That's an unfair question.
Ben?
This is a budding young man. How old are you, sir? Let's just
I'm
put it
18.
out there.
I'm about to be 19 in a month.
18. I don't know if we should say or ask that question just yet.
I'm comfortable with it. I know, like, okay. I have an idea of like what I'm comfortable with in the film of like making movies or shows and whatever. But before I say my answer, like I have to give a quick like context. So I'm very comfortable with my sexuality, and I'm really comfortable like being a straight male, but I cannot act as like a gay male in any sort of way. And I'm fine with that because I know like a lot of people are like, oh, he's homophobic, this, that, and the third. No, I'm not. I'm just, I know I can't be comfortable with myself trying to play a role that is not me. Like I could do something that's violent because I like hitting people, it's fun. I like playing violent games, but I can't do something that's like completely like left field from who I am as a person.
Yeah. Because reason I asked that, because I recently saw an interview with Chris Tucker. Of course, you assuming you know who he is, right? And he explained one of the reasons why he opted out of doing Another Friday. And he said one of the reasons was the use of the marijuana. in the films. And he said that's so not him, and he doesn't like to be the person to push the use of marijuana, that he just kind of stayed away from, that series after doing that first one. And most people he said most people said it was the money and all that kind of stuff, but he said the main reason is morally that character or what that character represented no longer sat well with him. So I was so basically I was just I was curious on whether if there was anything morally that based on what you feel you represent as an individual, as a professional, and so on and so forth, if there was anything that you probably wouldn't do or wouldn't want to promote, you know what I mean? So it was so that's especially being that, because for real, I've actually sat in with you while you were handling business. You actually have, for a person of your age, how old did you say you were?
18.
18. You handle it. I do business with grown individuals. You do business better than a lot of people in their 20s and 30s that I've worked with, bro. Like, you really have a very, very, very mature mind state, and you hold such strong morals. And for real, I can account that to your father and your parents and so on and so forth. So, and that kind of leads into the next thing I want to speak about. I actually had the privilege to actually sit in on part of a recording of your podcast. Firstly, tell us about your podcast, the name of it, and where we can listen to it.
And why the fuck we ain't been on it yet?
All right, so my podcast, like K Quick has said, we record every other Sunday. So this Sunday is free. I was looking for guests. People not responding. If you guys want to join in, you can. K Quick was on a podcast where I had an Australian guest, and he was a Muay Thai fighter, and we discussed his upbringing, what led him to be an MMA, a Muay Thai fighter, and a fighter in general. What's his future plans, and just like what K Quick was talking about, like my management and skills. It was just like trying to find the balance for what can be done, and so with that guest, he was easily the hardest guest to like fit a time slot in because of the Australian time zone. Like they're 19 hours ahead, I believe. And so I had to record that podcast, I believe, at either 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. when it's like 12 p.m., 1 p.m. for him. And so if I was to do it at the original time, which for I tend to go 1 p.m. EST, but due to time zone differences, I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna be midday for me, but let me go get somebody from the West Coast and it's 10 a.m. Like that doesn't make sense, and that's not fair to them. So I'd go up and I'll be at 4 p.m. They'll be at 1 p.m.
Yeah, and that's one thing. That's one thing I noticed about you, because I've actually, ever since I sat in, I went back and watched past episodes or listened to past episodes. You actually have a this guy here.
I got you.
Yeah.
When
you go ahead.
The
most recent
do the kangaroos wake up?
Bro.
I'm trying to sleep them fucking kangaroos, bro. Did he ever tell you when the dingoes and the kangaroos wake up? Because I got a fight with a kangaroo coming up.
I didn't ask him about any kangaroos. But that podcast, it was 4 episodes ago. So my most recent episode was with my dad. And then I've had an episode with the like my friends that are part of the LGBTQ community.
Hey,
nice.
So listen, hey look, you hear in the background, right? You hear pops in the background, right? Hey, listen, so look, the first thing that I caught, and I have to backtrack a little bit. I have to spin the block real quick. So the first thing that you thought of when Quick asked you that question was, are you compromising your sexuality? I didn't assume that that's what, when I said that it's too early to ask you, it's because you are developing as a true thespian. You are really working your way up the ladder. We already know that you're secure. I've been around you. We already know. You know what I'm saying? We know that you are pure 100% Southeast. Yeah, you about that life, right? So we're not going to play that game, but what are, why does that always pop up? Why does that always pop up in the minds of
The youth.
male actors?
So I guess because like if you don't, in my opinion, if you don't let it be known, it's going to be thrown at you. And so if I'm just going my life and I'm like with K Quick was talking about with Chris Tucker, like how he wasn't comfortable with like smoking. I can't do a smoking role. Like if it was like something I had to smoke, it'd probably be like paper. There's nothing in it. Like I don't want to have a situation where I'm sitting there high on set or I'm drinking because I actually care about my body and like how long I want to live, you know.
But we just still need that definitive answer. Is that something that is a challenge to you every time you are on an interview? Is that the first thing that people assume is that, or is that the question? Are you willing to go that far?
I haven't been asked that before, but I feel as though like just to air it out, like as the first, like that's like the furthest from where I would ever go.
Correct.
Like if I had a gun to my head, you pick smoking and drinking for a scene or being gay for a scene, I'd pick smoking and drinking. I can't be comfortable like with myself doing that.
So I got a question for you. So you're a very busy young man, right? You're still growing, you're still experiencing life. How do you find the balance to still handle your business and still be you?
It's kind of hard, I guess, because obviously I have school and then I'm just about to finish my community service hours. I got a podcast. I'm uploading on YouTube every Monday. And then I'm also in the band. So balancing that, making sure that one, all my work's done. Two, I got an episode coming out with something. And then managing all of that within my like day-to-day and schedule. It's just making sure I prioritize what is important to me. And so I can have events out with friends and keep in the back of my mind, I need this done, I need that done.
What is your biggest stress relief amongst all the hobbies and everything that you have going on at 18?
Biggest stress relief. Going to sleep.
Like you sound like me, bro. I'm 40 years old. I love going to bed, bro. Like, just wait. It's gonna happen. You're gonna want naps all the time, bro. Taco Bell and naps.
I'm gonna tell you
all my stress reliefs. Like I play video games, but if I lose too many times, I might get a little irritated. Band, if I'm messing up doing the music, I might get a little irritated. It's nothing other than sleep and probably like taking a shower. Yeah, a nice hot shower. You just in your head, just thinking. Oh no, listening to music. Listening to music. In sleep, listening to music. That is that's therapy for me. That is literally therapy.
Hey, that's the best therapy. That's the best therapy. But I also identified when you said sleep because me being also a person, and I'm pretty sure Rock can, and pretty much everybody on this panel here can attest to this. We are so busy doing everything that we do that we don't have time for sleep. So when sleep finally happens, we're like, what the heck was that? I like this stuff. So I get it. That sleep will change your life.
I actually hate sleep, but I have to have it. I have to have it. They'll, crazy enough, right? And I think Timon can probably agree with this. This is when you are most creative, is in your sleep. You might wake up with a different, you're learning constantly, right? But when you're asleep, you might come up with a new script. You might come up with a new idea. You might come up with a new personality. It's the weirdest dynamic. You know what I mean? Though. But I'm scared of a lot of sleep. Like my body has to shut me down in order for me to be, like in that realm.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? What is it about sleep that you like, Timon?
Sometimes the dreams, like it's rare now that I'm older, but when I was younger, I used to have like the craziest dreams, And like sometimes there'll be like a part 2 to the dream, and I'll like force myself to go to sleep because I'm like, I want to see how this dream ends.
And then you pee in the bed.
No, no, that stopped over 15 years ago, man. Leave me alone.
Once you get older, don't ever go towards the toilet. Don't ever go towards the toilet.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I've ever had a dream where I peed in my dream. Anytime I peed on myself in my sleep when I was younger, I just woke up and it was piss.
True. Bro, that's hilarious. Yeah. But Joe, to venture back to your podcast for a second, because I do want to shed more light on that, because you really, really, really do have a very good podcast. I consistently check in on that. You feel what I mean? So what impressed me, and for real, what impressed me the most, especially sitting there watching you conduct the interview, is how well you conduct the interview, how well you ask the right questions and maintain a conversation. Like, how did you come up with the structure of, or where did you pull your influence of giving an interview from? Because the way you do it is just, in my opinion, very advanced. Extremely advanced, and it's very impressive. So how did you come up with the structure for your show and how you give an interview in general?
So I'd want to credit that to, I want to say myself, but at the same time, the people that like inspired me to make a podcast, Joe Rogan, obviously, and then Logan Paul, he had a podcast called Impulsive where he's still uploading. And so like, it was like, if they could do this, then why can't I do it? And so I figured out the platform that I can do it on called Anchor. I'm currently on episode 44. And so it's just been a grind from one, having the right co-host with me. And if the co-host can't make it, like currently I'm doing this by myself. And so now I have to make sure I'm having people come on where it's not just me talking, because at that point it's a TED Talk. Who wants to listen to that? So... And then with the questions, I tend to just do my research on the guest. If the guest has information that like isn't on their socials, I can't look up, I'll ask the guest, like, is there any facts about you that I should know of? You know? And so I'll follow up with those questions. And then the guest that you were there for, he gave me a list of stuff that was like a little too far for him. And so I was like, okay, I'll steer clear of those type of questions.
Have you ever been tempted? Because most of the people that you are surrounded by are into journalism. All the people that you see in these squares right here are into journalism. Have you ever been tempted to push the envelope, or do you try to make the guest as comfortable as possible?
I don't want to make the guests feel uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, they took the time out of the day to come on my podcast, And so I'm not going to sit there and set a bad reputation and be like, oh, he makes the guest uncomfortable. He's pushing them to answer questions that they don't want to. Like, it's some journalists that go out of their way to push the narrative that they want to hear and get the result that they want out of their episode. And instead of actually getting to know the guest, having a genuine conversation, because at the end of the day, that's basically what a podcast is. You're having a conversation and you're asking questions. You're getting to know them. It's like a date. You don't want to go out and first date and ask your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your preference, like, yo, you want to go
say that again, youngin.
You want to just go have sex? Like, you can't do that on a first date. Like, what's wrong with you?
Say that again.
You gotta take it slow. Like, ask them their favorite color, ask them their birthday. Like it's a process.
No, bro. I'm looking up to the gods. Say that again. Take it what?
Take it slow. It's a process.
Come on now. This is an 18-year-old, y'all. This is an 18-year-old boy.
Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? He's
take
way
it
beyond
slow.
his years.
It's a process, correct? It's a process. So basically, the ideal that I have with most guests, I usually break it down with comedy a little bit, make myself look like the fool first, right? And then we can get into like the deeper subjects. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But when you want to pick their brain, you have to be very decisive, right? You have to, fill them out and everything. What is your You know what? I don't want to give away all your gifts, man. That's a secret to you. You know what? I'll take that back. I'm gonna shut up. I digress.
I could answer it. I don't mind. Um,
What is your method to your madness in order to pick the brains? I'm pretty sure that when you're dealing with somebody from Australia, you're curious about what goes on over there, right?
mhm.
They may want to focus in on their just straight shot their career. How do you soften them up initially in order to make them feel comfortable? I understand it is general conversation, but for all the youngins that are of your age, that don't have the same wise mind as you, how do you soften them up? How do you soften up adults to talk to you?
So it just comes, in my opinion, like it just comes to like understanding like what's too far and what's not too far. So I'll start an episode and we'll just talk about first off what they're currently doing. So like in their career. So he's a Muay Thai fighter. We started talking about his career first, and then like we'll slowly dive into what made him go down that career path because nobody just wakes up and like, yo, I'm about to become a fighter. Like it has to be something in your line of work where or your life where you're just sitting there at that point where this isn't working for me, so I'm about to go and do this. And so with him, like his thing was he lost his parents at a young age, and so he ended up starting to do like violent crimes and stuff. Ended up in a gang, and it got to a point where he was very depressed, and to the point where he was able to find a coach that took him out of that and had guided him, and I was able to have that conversation with him and understand like how far like mentally somebody can get, but before like breaking and then having to build themselves back up because he's currently doing like mental health stuff and trying to help other people with their mental health because he knows how hard it is, and he doesn't feel sorry for himself because he knows it's worse for somebody somewhere else. Like he could have both his parents like gone, but then there's people that never even met their parents, people that like had siblings don't have their siblings anymore. It's a lot of things that could go wrong, and he was lucky to still be alive. You're on mute.
That is big facts. Now, how comfortable do you feel listening to? How old is this said MMA fighter? And you know what I'm saying? How old was this person? How many years senior is he to you?
If I'm not mistaken, he was he's definitely in between 20 and 30.
Okay.
If not 30 already.
Okay. That is a broad, but that's pretty sure. He's probably maybe between 10 years, probably older than you being in, fighting or whatever. Do you
I've had a lot of young fighters on as well.
Okay.
So the guest I've had from the UK, who's probably like one of my favorite guests, we had the longest episode. It was 2 hours and 30 minutes where we were just talking about him fighting, and then we just went on to having like a genuine conversation. And like every time I talk to him, like we joke about like fighting each other one day, but neither one of us have a passport to travel. So
it's all good. That shows a certain level of maturity from you, bro. Like every time, like we're opening up Pandora's box right now. You dig? So I'm picking your brain just as much as you pick their brains. You dig? Mm-hmm. In order for an 18-year-old to be able to pick somebody 5, 10 years older than them, it takes a hell of a lot of maturity in order to do that, right? So that means you have to be a great listener. How often do you talk, or do you just listen more so?
I try to listen as much as I can because he's telling his story. I can't sit there and ask questions every other second. So I have to wait, and like if I have questions, I'm pausing myself from asking those questions and just noting them, and can we go back to this or etc.
That also shows that you're a great learner, because somebody who listens and absorbs information is going to be far, far, far beyond their years because they are consistently learning and digesting information. And granted, also, not only are you understanding somebody who's not only older, you're understanding people from different parts of the world and different cultures as well, and understanding them. And that's another thing I noticed. You're not only are you talking to athletes, because I noticed that's a lot of that's one of your favorite areas, like in mine too, because I love martial arts and all that stuff as well. So, but you're also talking to people who are really established in that field. Like these, I looked up a lot of the people that you've interviewed on your show. These people hold weight and like have titles and all this stuff, and are from that are known from different parts of the world, like from the Europe and the UK and Australia. And for the fact that you are
West
able,
Coast,
bruh, the fact that you are able at your age to have that kind of reach and that kind of communication to reach out to guests far and wide makes me very optimistic to where you're going to be like 10 years from now and what you're going to be doing from there.
So the biggest thing for me when it comes to like finding guests, like no matter how big they are, it comes down to which guests are humble enough to have that conversation. Because some people, like I'll email them, I won't get an email back, I won't even get a no thank you, won't even get an email back. I'll email managers, I'll have communications, and then some guests, like they'll ask for a charging fee. Why would I pay you to have a conversation where both of us can benefit? Your fans get a better identity of who you are as a person, and then I get a boost and like knowing who I am. You know, it's a double-edged thing.
I have a question. How do you feel about the dynamic between the youth and the older generation communicating? How do you feel about that? Because the way you put it is that and I'm pretty sure that a lot of the older people want to feed, correct? A lot of
yeah, the like older people with like more notoriety.
And the scary part about that is that the way you put it is that we both benefit, right? So you're reaching the older crowd, right? They're reaching the younger crowd where nobody else is paying attention to, right? So your reach is to the younger, like 18-year-olds. Who would have ever thought that somebody that is 5 to 10 years older than you would be able to reach 18-year-olds? You are educating them. You are giving something. You're giving game for the free. You know what I mean? And then also that'll make them pay attention. That'll make them look at them. What egos? I'm sorry.
I'm constantly like always looking at like my analytics, and I know some people say it's bad to do that because like what if your numbers dip? I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about like who's watching, and so I know it's 1% non-binary watching my podcast. Majority is male, and then majority of the people watching are like 20 to 30 years old. And then I have guests. I have viewers even that's almost 60 years old. So
hold up,
it's a large
60 years old.
Yeah, the youngest is so it's 0 to 17 and it's 13%, and then 45 to 59 years old, that's 2%. And the large majority, which is 27%, 30%, and 26%, is 18 through 34.
Wow, that is dynamic. That is dynamic.
And then it shows me like which parts of the world they're watching from. I have guests from South Africa. I have viewers from South Africa, Canada, Spain, Sweden, Romania, France, India, Singapore, Germany, Australia, and the United States, and the UK. Keep in mind, I've only had guests from the UK, Australia, and the US.
Wow.
That's fire. Now,
so where's the most bougiest place that you can't get a guest from? My bad.
East Coast, to be honest. Well, not
say
actually,
what? We
not
right here. We right here. We right here.
Wait, not the East Coast. It's like the Midwest.
Oh, okay.
Like in that area, because I've had. I actually have to count now. Most of my guests have been from the East Coast, but I've had two guests from Europe, one from the UK, one from Ireland. I've had two guests from the West Coast. What, three guests from the West Coast, excuse me. I've had three female guests on. Um, I've had different like DMV legends, Tony Bello. I've had one of my teachers on. I've had the person who came up with, not necessarily came up with Rise of the Golden Dunes, but allowed my dad to have that idea by allowing him in that movie. Um, I've had him on. I've had my band director on. I've had music producers on. I'm pretty sure you all know J Rob.
Yeah, I know him.
Had him on. I've had Lonnie B on.
Mm.
I've had two different boxers on, a female boxer and a male boxer, and they both know each other, coincidentally. They both met Mike Tyson and other legends of the sport. And then the guest I had from Australia, we had the same sponsor. So
That's dope, man. That is very dope. Now, I look at you as a very, very, very powerful statement for the people of your generation specifically. You know, especially being everything you're involved in and everything you got going on and everything you have planned. So for the generation of the younger people that are under you, if somebody was to seek mentorship or some type of advice from you, what is the main, if you were just to have one conversation with somebody or a group of kids underneath you, what is the main thing you would want them to take from that conversation?
if you have a dream, don't let nobody destroy it. And that goes.
Now, even if that means you got to get kicked out the house, you got school, or you got work, which one would you go for? My bad. I'm sorry. Finish that, and then we'll go back to them. My bad.
So, like, for me, like my dreams, like I've told like my principals and stuff this. I see myself so far in the future where I'm successful, regardless of what happens in my life. I see myself successful. I don't care how old I got to be. I don't care how hard I got to work. At the end of the day, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to have wealth. I'm going to be able to take care of my family. And my family's going to be set when I die. And I don't want to have the situation where I'm looking back in my life and be like, oh, I should have done this. I wish I had done this. No, I did what I wanted to do and I followed the dreams that I set forth in my life. I might have other things that help me propel to my dreams. And if my dreams don't come true, I'm still going to have a backup plan to where I'm not working a 9 to 5. I'm not broke, you know? It's just the mentality that you have to have at the end of the day to keep pushing forward. You can't let your parents stop your dreams. You can't let your friends stop your dreams. You can't let yourself stop your dreams. If it gets hard, don't quit. You could get knocked down, but you got to get back up at the end of the day. I had a YouTube channel that has more subscribers than the one I currently have. I deleted it because of personal issues with family and stuff. I made another YouTube channel. I'm almost back to where I originally was. I have more views than where I was originally at. And it's just me continuing the grind, continuing to have the dream that I had set forth in my life to be successful and to be a person where everybody around the world can be like, I respect that guy. I understand that he's doing something for himself and he's not out there wasting his time. And if I'm successful, you best believe the people around me that I care about are going to be successful.
Now, that is different for most of the people in these squares that were raised by boomers. Do you know what a boomer is?
Old folk.
So the baby boomers, they grew up with a different mentality. So the 9 to 5 was everything to them. Okay, you either had to, like I said earlier, you either had to go to school, you gotta get the fuck out, right? So that was our only options when we were growing up, right? So I took forth to the military because I hated school. You know what I mean? So I found my pathway through pressure. The youth right now at 18, what is the conversation and the discussions that y'all are having as far as the outlooks of the parents that y'all have? what are the daily pressures that y'all go through and y'all just like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you came up with the manifestations, like the way you talk, and you talk very like you are convinced, like, yeah, no matter what, this is me. This is who I'm gonna be, right? I never had a chance, and most of us never had a chance to be who we really truly wanted to be until we became adults with children. What is it that your generation talks about at the lunch table?
So it differs. So certain groups of friends that I got, they don't want to go to college, and there's some that do want to go to college because we understand that if you really want like a good successful job where at the end of the day you're going to make a lot of money, you got to go to college. And whether you like school or not, main reason I'm not taking a leap year, you have to go through that and understand one what major you're gonna do, because you can't just pick a major and then after you're done college, yo, this major sucks. I'm not doing anything with my job with this. Pick a job where your major is gonna help you. I've got a paper from my school like that helps me understand like the career job path I'm going through. And with a high school diploma, I could be making 30,000 a year. But instead of that, I could be making up to 100,000 a year with a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. So it's just biting my tongue and understanding what I need to do to make my goals at the end of the day.
So amongst the woke, do you feel like that college is a part of indoctrination?
Um, that college is a part of what?
Indoctrination. So the way you speak of it, right? So we
Mhm.
have to be real, right? At you feel like you have to, in order to make more, you have to go to college, right?
Yes.
What happens with the debt of college?
The what of college?
The
I'm
debt,
missing that.
the debt of college. So financially, you will be making $100,000 a year, right?
Hmm.
But you went $85,000 in debt in order to receive this.
And so that's the other thing. So I've already told my parents I'm not going to college if I had to pay. I'm not. It's either a full ride or I'm not going, because I'm not paying. I'm not getting loans because that's really going to get you up. Like I know teachers still paying loans in their 30s. I'm not doing that. Like I refuse to do that. And I know it's other career paths that I can take if I necessarily like I want to go to college for free. I could go and join the military or like and test high so I could get a job where I'm not on the front lines. I'm not risking my life.
Now see that right there? I digress. Anybody else got any questions for this great young man right here? Anybody else? Ladies, Rock, quick. I think we've exhausted all of our resources. I go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
No, do your thing, Phoenix. You got something?
No, I was just going to thank him for embracing himself and taking the lessons that he has learned growing up, and just allowing life to teach you and not allowing what happens bad in life to determine which way you go. So I really appreciate listening to you. So that's what I was listening, and I love hearing you talk. And I met you in person, so I know how cool and how awesome you are. And it's just really, really cool to hear this come from an 18-year-old, but you also have been around enough older people to absorb their soul. So I just really appreciate you coming on, taking the time and sharing your heart with us and manifesting on our show, on our platform, who you are and who you will be. So thank you.
You're welcome. Also, one quick thing, my dad too. But
Shit.
This guy.
one thing my dad's always told me is work hard now so you don't have to work later. And then one thing my mom's always told me, you're gonna be successful. Like she instills this in me, like you're gonna be successful. You're gonna be successful because I sometimes have those moments where I might not always think positive, and like I have like really bad test anxiety. So if I'm taking a test, like I feel like I'm gonna fail. I jinxed myself during the learners test and I failed. But it's having that group around you where they're continuing to push you, and I talked about earlier where I had my area of depression and anxiety. I haven't lost my anxiety yet, but I definitely have lost my depression, and it's gotten to a point where I go around and I'm happy now, and I'm going around telling people I'm great. I'm greatness. You know, I walk into a room, greatness. Hi, everybody, greatness here. I'm telling people have a great day because that's what I want for myself. So I'm gonna push out that positive energy. I'm gonna receive the positive energy because I'm telling myself I'm great. Nobody can take that away from me. People like my friends will be like, "Where's greatness? I don't see LeBron. LeBron's not here. Michael Jordan's not here. Excuse me, I'm great." Like, you know,
bruh. I'm telling you, you got grown folks learning from you right now, man. That's an amazing mind state to be in. Real talk.
That's how it should be. People think that you can't learn from the youth, but you can learn from everybody. You're supposed to be able to. And the
That's
reason why
facts.
you're no longer depressed is because you stop trying to put yourself down and stop trying to live for what other people wanted you to be. You cut your mask off. Therefore, you are able to be happy.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I get what you're saying.
Hi, Timon.
Hey, Mom.
So what I wanted to say, yes, I wanted to say you're a very intelligent young man. You're an everyday joy to be around. I look forward to you succeeding upward, onward, and I definitely look forward to working with you again. You was a joy as my son, made me love you in real life. You're great.
It's my birthright. I said this when I was younger. It's my birthright to be successful.
Real talk. So Timon, please, because I want everybody to really tap into your show. Because granted, I heard one episode and sat in on one and became a fan, and I've been listening ever since. So please tell them the name of your podcast, where they can find it and listen to it, and also where they can find you and tap in with you. Please.
So my podcast is called A Podcast. So if you go and look it up, it's literally APOC. A podcast is one word. I could actually show you. You can look it up on Spotify. It's on anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you have a hard time finding it, you could go on Instagram, look up A Podcast. It's the link in the bio. I know it's other podcasts that are called A Podcast, and it doesn't necessarily show up immediately. And you know, the logo looks like this. And then on Spotify, it should look. Should look like this. So the podcast, all one word.
That's dope. Do me a favor. Send me on. Matter of fact, I got you on IG, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to post a direct link to your podcast on the No Filter page. So make sure everyone viewing, tap in with us so you can tap in with my man Timon, because all his information will be on the No Filter page this evening after the show. Real talk.
Also, quick disclaimer, my podcast isn't always super serious. It is moments where I'm just being a goof. Disclaimer for those. If it's a non-guest podcast, it might be a little goofiness in there. If it's a guest podcast, it'll be more serious.
Big facts.
Real talk. Well, thank you again, Timon, for tapping in. I told you I was going to get you on this show, right? I told you, bro. We had to have you on. Bro, I really look forward to everything. We really look forward to everything you got coming in. Man, we're going to have you back on. And you're going to have us over there. Stop playing.
Sunday, 1
Hey,
p.m.
bruh. If we don't end up on that damn show sometime within this month, my birthday is next week. Hey, look, you got to the end of March.
Sunday, 1 p.m.
Sunday,
1 p.m.
All right, well, politics. Let us know the information. Let us know the information. How we gonna record this? Let us know. We gonna be there. I'm pulling up.
Like everybody's using a computer, so I could just send the link. You could join from computer or ILS. You know?
Let's get it. It's party time. Let's get it. We with it. So we can say this. Are we saying this right now that No Filter is gonna be crashing a podcast this weekend?
Yes.
Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm with it. All right, send us that info. We tapped in. It's going down.
All right.
right, man.
So
Let you
yeah,
go, bro.
everybody give it up for my man Timon. One good time. Let's get it. Thank you for coming in, my man.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was a very good pleasure. I came all the way across from the motherlands to be here.
This guy. All right, well, and catch No Filter on the podcast this Sunday.
This Wednesday.
Wednesday, say less.
Wednesday comes out. Sunday we record.
All right, Sunday.
Okay,
so catch it next Wednesday. That's when you'll hear it. But we'll be there on Sunday.
Yeah.
Man. Adios, amigo.
Hey, my guy, peace. That was Timon, man. That's my guy. Be on the lookout.
Can I say something?
What's good?
It is, this is what you hope for when you have children. Let's go ahead and take this inspiration and let's run with it, right? So this is what you pray for and you meditate for when you have children. And we haven't quite gotten down to the nitty gritty with him. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna bust his balls. You know what I'm saying? He 18 or whatever, but the level of maturity that he has and the level of inspiration that he has pushed me to and make me question all my 40 years of living, of giving a damn. You hear me? It's different. And just like Zena said, and so many people have said, he's a gem. He's inspirational. How many of us had that same outlook on life as he does? That no matter what, we are going to be successful.
It didn't come in bed. I'm telling you, it came in my 30s recently. Yeah.
I say because people used to say the same thing about me. Because back when I was his age, people didn't think I was 18. They always thought I was like in my mid or late 20s, as it was. Not even so much in appearance, even though I did look more mature. But I also, just the way I thought, the way I spoke, all that kind of stuff. Literally, that's probably why I connect with Timon so much, because his way of thinking reminds me so much of how I look at things now, and the way I look at him reminds me of how people used to look at me. So he's definitely he's a real one. He's definitely a real one.
That way of thinking got my ass whipped.
What?
No, like real shit. Like, it got my ass kicked trying to be free. Because, see, when I was coming up, video games were popular. We just didn't have the internet at that time. Okay? But the fact that I looked at college, when I was in college and all that stuff, and I was just like, this is a waste of goddamn flesh. You know what I mean? This is a waste of time. Was one of the things that pushed me to the military. But him speaking out like that, if I was to speak out like that back in the day, bro, I would get my ass whipped. Like, really hurt. I used to get beat over wanting to commit suicide, bro. My parents used to get mad at me for wanting to kill myself, bro. For real. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, like real shit. And so I'm listening, Star.
Oh no, I was agreeing with you. I said that was a different era.
That's the scariest shit about, like, the fact that I guess kids have way more information than we did. I used to have to read the Encyclopedia Britannica. You don't even know about that, do you? You might have been on the cusp quick, but the Encyclopedia Britannica was like the internet. You know what I mean? Like, you had to reference everything from that joint. You had to flip books. You had to go to the library. You had to do this, you know. The youth now are so brilliant because they have so much access to information. A parent cannot lie to them like my parents lied to me, you know. The way that young man's, excuse me, he's not a full man yet, but the way that young man works and the way his mind works is because he's seen it all already without having to experience it, you know, firsthand. You know, how many people, how many of y'all feel like that?
I mean, I agree with you on that. You know, keep in mind he's also Howie's son. Howie is a parent that's more like us on this panel that don't believe in lying to your children and giving them real life experiences. So that's why I said different era. I wasn't suicidal, but I had parents that had that same thought process. So
I was going to say we as parents, as this generation, grew up with the other parents, as the baby boomers or after the baby boomers. But we as parents in this generation do give our children more freedom. We give them freedom to express themselves. We give them freedom to find out what they like. We go take them places and let them see things. It's just different things. We make it a priority to spend time with our children. And if we can't, spend as much time, we do try to, it's just things that we do different than our parents did because they may not have had the opportunity or they didn't know. They didn't know better. So.
I don't think the word give it even matters right now because they have a cell phone. You don't give anybody any freedom. No. You don't give children freedom anymore. They find what they want. They can travel anywhere over the meta. Anything that you can think of, they can do whatever they dream. It's possible. Were we limited by the thoughts of our parents?
Of course we were, unless we were away, from them, like going outside and whatever, say have a different imagination and stuff like that. But yeah, you're right. They are able to go further on their phone than we did.
Timon just tapped in real quick. You got to post him up. Timon just tapped in. This generation of parents know what they didn't have and try to give that to their children. Now, Timon, while you are still paying attention, while we still have your attention, do parents give anything or do you take what you want? Because the way you talk, the parents may show you some things and it may allot freedoms, but would they be able to cripple you with the substantial amounts of information that you have digitally? Like, is there a certain barrier that, there are no limitations to your thoughts? You've seen virtual reality. You've seen all the processes that happen, Can your parents limit your thought? Period. Point blank. Right now, could your parents right now in their 80s, 70s, 60s, can they limit anybody here in their thoughts? Period. He said he takes what he is allowed. Wow. And that is respectfully saying I do what the fuck I want. Go ahead, Star.
Nothing. I just said that was a very beautiful way of him putting it. When you correlate his direct response with the question, that's, the way he gave it to you, his answer, that was a beautiful way of putting it. It's like, I'm not going to overstep my boundaries, but if I'm limitless, I'm going for it. That's basically what it said. I said that was beautiful.
Yeah, he obviously ain't been locked up in a room with what is it? What's the name of them books? Not Jeepers Creepers. What is it? Goosebumps books. And there's no technology. And you only thing you got to look at is Arsenio Hall's big ass index finger and Sherry.
Hey, listen. Goosebumps did not scare me, but my aunt, she had a room that was small enough to be a closet in her house, and she had tons and tons of crates of Stephen King books. Just the pictures on the front used to scare the hell out of me. The girl with the face. Hey, listen, it used to get me every time.
Oh, wow.
My parents cannot stop my way of thinking, but they can't stop what I want.
Man, that is a hell of a discussion.
No, that's true because granted, you can be a product of your own imagination. Your mind goes wherever you want your mind to go. But physically, you can be stopped by a parent. You know, some there's kids who have dreams, or they can tell you they've had dreams of doing this, or they wanted to do this or wanted to do that, but a parent stopped them dead in their tracks at one point in time.
Let's
I
talk this real gangster
slightly
shit.
disagree. I think what Timon was saying was accurate, but I think it'd be better served to say that a parent can delay you, because at the end of the day, once you are an adult, they can't stop anything. So it's not so much that they stop you from your dream, but they can delay it. If it's really a dream and you're serious about it, you're going to go after it anyway.
I think that
Depends on
other.
it depends
Go
on
ahead.
it depends on the severity, because there's also been cases where people matter of fact, I actually knew of somebody who this young lady who wanted to be a dancer, but she had a religious father and so on and so forth, and he used to actually beat her like severely whenever he caught her dancing or
You
doing
think
whatever
like me?
dancing and so on and so forth. So she just never danced again, even as an adult, because of that. That was always her dream as a little girl, but it also depends on the severity of which you were delayed, which turned into being stopped at the same. So it really varies from case to case, for real.
Now, it's not necessarily case to case. I think it's generation to generation
That too.
where you fall in, because a majority of us, from Star to Phoenix to Rock, we all had to deal with the religious aspects, right? And so with boomers, it wasn't necessarily all religious, but majority was church.
Yep.
Majority of it was church. It was all faith based, and then on top of that, they were only known to think about retirement,
Yeah.
not death and sudden death, and your legacy and how you work your angles, right? So, us as new age parents, we really don't want to limit our children, right? And so a majority of us don't even mention faith. You know what I mean? When it comes into um, um, their thoughts, their dreams. But what we're finding as older parents, well, not older parents, but as parents, I have a going on 21-year-old, is that I cannot get her mind open. Timon is a very rare breed.
Mhm.
Most children are very tunnel vision. They don't expand their minds. They don't think the broad spectrum. They're not able, and that's what I'm starting to find out, that they handicap themselves when they have no pressure. Is there anybody else in here that sees this? Okay, I take that as a no.
Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm coming.
Excuse you?
Man.
Excuse you?
I knew he was about to do that.
You coming? Are you
He was
coming?
about to do that. I knew he was about to do that.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
OMG.
Yeah. I'm playing God right now. It's all good. But that was a very deep conversation. I think that a lot of us, between the ages of 30 and 40, have not had that deep conversation to where some of our dreams have been ruined by our parents. Not being allowed to dream. We were whipped or put on punishment to be submitted to, to their ideals and their logic. A lot of people suffer from that. That is called PTSD.
Mm.
And a lot of people are not willing to admit that. I don't give a damn how sweet they were and they fed us beans every week. I don't give a fuck about the limitations of their dreams. Now it's time for me. And you didn't push me to the higher heights. You couldn't even envision me being anything other than a worker, existing, retiring from a goddamn company that, go ahead, Star.
I was gonna read Howie's comment. Can you put that back up, Rob? He said, I definitely still push faith in the power of God. Timon was baptized by 12 years old. I was just going to simply say, Howie is very spiritual, a Christian. He does instill that into his boys, but he doesn't allow, it says, but I don't allow quitting. That's where I draw the line. See, the thing about Howie is he's one of those parents that's a leader in his own right, and he guides his children. So unlike parents of the past and parents who didn't really know and didn't really understand and or who ruled over their children with fear, he's not one of those parents. It's like, I'm gonna tell you what it is, I'm gonna give you the truth to the best of my knowledge, but you still have to make your own decisions. That's something that we missed out on because of our parents' fear. Like, a lot of parents beat us to the point of abuse out of fear, and we didn't know that, and they didn't know it either. That's how PTS starts, with one person unintentionally inflicting harm, pain, and or danger, and then it's sticking with you for a long time to the point where it affects your thinking, your movements, your everyday life, what you will and won't do in life. I think now that we were the last generation to deal with those parents, we have a different outlook on how child raising should be done.
Do you know the first thing that I asked my 11-year-old son, and he is so goddamn smart, it makes me sick. He is 20 times smarter than me, right? I asked him, I said, you don't want to be a rapper? Listen to this. 40 years old, 11-year-old son. You don't want to be a rapper? He just looked at me and was like, nope. No. He has bigger things going on in his mind, his body, and his spirit. Now, the reason why I asked him that, it was a test. It was something to figure out where his dynamic is. Now, mind you, the first thing that he told me was, I only listen to local rappers and I only wear local clothes. At 11 years old, he's only going to support what he knows. He's not going to go beyond that. He's not going to do anything else, right? But he's not planning on putting his mind to work as far as poetry is concerned, right? So we'll look at rap as poetry. I look at Quick, that's a poet. I look at Rock, poet. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to be the hardest guy, but I always ask that because my son doesn't say a lot. But when he speaks, he speaks. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to force him. I just want him to be the greatest him that he can ever possibly be with no pressure. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, you know? And that freaked me out a little bit because he's not with the status quo. He reminds me of Timon. A lot of these children out here are different. They might listen to the music, but they know what the music is. They know what it's about. They know what feeds them, you know? Ern said, I refused and I told my kids I wouldn't hit them after 15 years old. But then I had already instilled in them right from wrong and how respect works. Now, that's the one thing that we haven't discussed. What time is it? That's the one thing that we haven't discussed. As parents, does the hitting, does the spanking, do they work?
Hell no.
I think only in extreme cases. I find all other kinds of ways that's going to be helpful to my kids when I punish them. Like holding 6 inches, doing sit-ups and push-ups, running laps, things of that nature. I have athletes, so the punishment is actually helping them in what it is that they want to do. Now, if I catch them fighting each other, then I've known to whoop their butts because that's your brother and you shouldn't be in a physical altercation. But other than that, I don't really see the immediate need for a butt whooping.
Quick.
I agree. It depends on the severity of the situation, but I do know of some. I do know of. I've seen footage in this generation, and also the generation right above me, plus the generation that I'm in, of parents disciplining their kids in the worst ways. Like, public humiliation, all this kind of stuff that really does not help the child. It damages the child. You know what I mean? It's everything from making the kid holding their child down and shaving their head on camera and all that stuff. I've seen a woman drag her son out of lunch and like beat him in front of his teachers and all that kind of stuff. Like humiliation. Stuff that would drive a kid to possibly act out even more or drive them into a depression and so on and so forth. If anything, I know personally from my experience, any wrong I did as a kid, the conversation I had with my elders, a stern one that made me understand. It's the point of making sure your child understands what's wrong and what's right. Whether it's mainly all the mental stuff works the best. When things that I like that I was an avid gamer as a kid. When games got taken away, when all these other things. And matter of fact, there was one time when I was going through. It was like in middle school. There's one word that my mother threw at me that made me feel like complete shit. That made me want to get my stuff together.
No. You know what? Can I pause you right there? What did your father say that made you feel like complete shit? What the women say, because women are always going to tap into your emotions.
No, it was my
What did
father.
your father say that made you feel like complete shit?
Well, this is the thing.
Without being physical.
My father did the equivalent. His was more in his actions. Now, granted, in this particular situation, not to get into too much detail, my mother told me that she was disappointed in me. Disappointed. That shit hurt me to the core of my soul. And my dad, who was involved in the situation as well, he showed in his actions. He couldn't even look at me.
Disgrace and disappointment.
He could just a feeling of disgrace. He couldn't even look at me. He would walk. He was at one point in time, like for the day or so after the situation, he would like he like walk past me. He just ghosted me, and I'm like, damn, damn, I fucked up. That kind of shit.
So, as a man, which one of your parents' opinion mattered the most at that moment? Just be honest.
I ain't gonna front. It was my dad. It was my dad, because I had never seen him like that towards me. Ever. That one was different. It was different. So to me, when he was like that, he basically said the same thing my mom said without saying it. You know what I mean?
My father.
It was high school too. It wasn't middle school. It was high school.
I'm on your shit. I'm on the same level, bro. When my father didn't honor me, as when I acted out in anger and when he had disappointment, he just wouldn't say nothing. There was no act of violence. It was just ignorance. It was just like, yeah, I tossed you away. And I'm looking up to him like for approval. You know what I mean? Mama always gonna be there. She gonna voice her opinion. She gonna be emotional. She gonna do what she do. You know what I mean? But when my father ignored me, it drove me to be an athlete. And I'm looking at him like, look, hey dad, I did 100 sit-ups a day. Like, and he would just still ignore me. You know what I mean? Like, that shit gets weird, bro. Like, we always know that the women are gonna be around. The ladies are always gonna nurture us, no matter what. They're gonna be our biggest fighters. But when it comes to fathers and just saying, that's different. That shit is on.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I agree with that. When you do know that because I knew my mom was always going to be there, but I was always searching for my dad. I was always calling and leaving a message, letting him know, yeah, I got this trophy, I won this tournament, just different things like that, trying to get his attention. And even that was my biological, when even my stepdad that was in the house, though him and I butted heads because I was stubborn, and he said, he told me that, oh, I've been. No, he says he bends but he doesn't break. I said I don't either, and that was our relationship. But I still wanted the attention from him. I still tried to do things to get him to notice me too. So yeah.
For me, my situation was the opposite. I always knew that my father was going to be proud of me. He always, and don't get me wrong, he's a big black Jamaican, so he was very abusive at times. But even in the, I knew for a fact that he loved me. I knew for a fact that he liked me, because you can love your kids and not like them. I was always looking for my mom's validation because I never felt like she liked me, barely felt like she loved me. So for me, it was the opposite, which parent I more so wanted the attention from, as opposed to which parent I knew I would always have the attention from.
Amongst men, so from Quick to Rock to me, what validation did we actually look for amongst our parents? If, even if they weren't in the household, what do men look for more so to be validated by the father or the mother? Men only.
That's hard to say because granted, I kind of seek for it on both ends because both of them
You got
pushed
one to
me.
pick from. You got one.
One to pick.
The one that you yearn for the most to this day.
Well, granted, I'm always gonna be mama's baby boy. It's just it hit different when your dad's bragging about you for some reason. You know what I mean? Is like I said, like it's basically what was already said here. My mom's always gonna have the emotional support, but like I really had my chest out when dad spoke up.
Yeah. Now, Simone just spoke. He said his father.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was always my father. And me being adopted, yeah, I always look forward to like my father showing up until he showed up and he had negative things to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I think my father was always my pressure point. It was always where it was like, all right, I gotta show up and show out. And then when I make a mistake, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
And all you hear is disappointment in his voice, But I guess that's the laws of the land. I don't know if he. Can I ask y'all this? If your father was to be soft on you, would you be the man that you are today?
No.
Fathers are the real world. Ain't that something?
Yeah, and that's kind of why. The answer is the father for real. Because anytime I knew I did something wrong or I knew I was in trouble, he was the person the person I was scared to be in front of the most when I got home. You know what I mean? Because between my mom and dad, he was like the last. Like out in my mind, I'm like, dang, I hope she ain't tell dad. I hope she ain't tell dad. That kind of stuff.
God, hands of God on your ass, bro.
Straight up.
Hey, listen. Hey, Rock, if you could put up Zena's post real quick, because this is vital. Because I'm ready for the ladies to jump in. If not, I can read it. So Zena said, "My mother is jealous of me and vindictive, and her siblings and my Grammy agree. It's just different, and she hates that me and my bio dad are best friends at this point. Now, ladies, what type of affection were you seeking between your two parents, whether they be in the household or out the household? What were you seeking? Which one was more powerful to you, and what What validation did you need in your life?
I think for me, it wasn't validation, it was more respect of opinion because my mother and my stepfather both were no to everything. And you better not ask me why. You don't have the right to question me. Whereas my biological father, may he rest in peace, um, it was one key thing that I'll never forget that to me demonstrated his love. Being a Muslim man, he's completely against anything gay and lesbian. You know what I mean? And at 18, I had to sit him down and have that conversation with him. And he was really, really, really mad. And I mean, he was really angry. He was talking about taking me back home to New York, finishing the raising and this and this and this. And I said, well, Daddy, no disrespect, but I'm 18 now, so you can't force me to go. It took him a whole 24 hours, y'all, but then he came back and we had this conversation about what it means for a father to love his daughter. And he left that there. Now, like I explained, in my lifetime, I've been proposed to 7 times. One of those times, well, of course, more than one time was a guy, but one of those guys happened to be in the same place at the same time as me and my dad. And I guess he called himself trying to do it the traditional way and asked my father for my hand in marriage. And I'll never forget, my father looked at him and my father said, whether she knows it right now or whether she's going to know it later, my daughter knows if you for her. So I'm not going to give you my blessing, but I won't give you my no. Instead, I'm going to just follow her. And it could have been seen as a cop out, but it meant a lot to me for him to openly admit in public that he trusts my opinion when I came from being raised by 2 parents where everything was no and you better not question it. When I asked him later, he explained to me, period and point blank, I don't think he's for you, but that's not for me to say. You have to say it. And that's where he left it. And that was beautiful to me. It showed that he was going to support me, whether my decision be right or wrong. He'll give me the truth, but he's going to support my right to make my choice.
Phoenix. Okay, so we had Ern. He said, well, my mom taught me unconditional love. My dad taught me grind and never give up. Timon follows up with no. That goes for both parents as well, right? So I don't know what context that goes for both parents as well, but I'm figuring that it's following up on what Ern said, right? So can men teach unconditional love?
Yes.
That's very direct. At what capacity? When you look at a man, I'm sorry, Star. When you look at a man, what is your ideal of unconditional love from a man?
I would say, well, see, that's tricky because you can't necessarily say total acceptance, right? Because some things is just deal breakers. But I think for me, unconditional love sits in truth. You feel me? Like a person that is never trying to tell me the truth can't tell me that they love me because the truth is ugly sometimes, the truth is painful sometimes, but it's still the truth. So to me, unconditional love falls along the line of total honesty. When you can be completely honest with me all the time, I can feel like, there can be unconditional love there. And I don't know. My father was a hard worker. He was all types of things. He always made sure that we was fed. And my father was a cheater. I have 17 little brothers by all these different women. But there's 2 things that I knew for certain about my father. A, he made sure that I knew every little brother from the times they were born until now, whether I was going to tell my mother or not. He made sure I knew every little brother and he took care of every child, all of them, loved them all.
So we do have to close out, everybody. Um, we actually gonna pull up Zena real quick. She said, my mother degraded me so bad for every mistake. My dad always understood encouraged and gave me real life advice. He loves me despite my mistakes and shortcomings. He still thinks I'm amazing. All right. We move on to Timon because I assumed what he said. No, that's not what I was referring to. I was referring to who my validation needed to come from. But in my opinion, both parents can share unconditional love, but it's different depending on the gender, I believe. All right, everybody. So this was a dope show. We do have to get ready. Yeah. Okay. We got one more and we got to close out after this. Nobody else. A father, like Star said, can show his daughter how to truly be loved and vice versa for a man with her son. The blend of both parents can show how to be tough and love. That is gospel. That is facts. Nobody is balanced. The feather weighs just as much as the what? Never mind then. Y'all can come back with that keyword. Y'all can win a prize, man. Y'all come back with that saying right there. The feather weighs just as much as what? All right, everybody. This has been a dope show. Of course, we have to lead off with my man.
Villain in the white mask, cake with, asylum, say less out right now. Beast bars and faith. Yeah.
Man, and of course, this is your man, GIMO, aka non-GMO. You can catch me on all platforms, GIMO. And naturally, I am who I am. You dig? Now, every Wednesday, which we took a hiatus because I was taking dick hardening pills with aspirin. I took like 5 aspirin to make my dick hard.
That did not sound right.
Yeah, I was wrapped up, bro. I was in my work uniform, my shirt off. I had all these tags and shit on me. Dick was rock hard. I could have been a starfish, and I could have climbed the motherfucking wall like a starfish with a tack through his ass. You hear me? Yeah, that was me. That was me. But I love y'all. Dope show. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, dope, lit. Next up.
Okay. I am the Blue Phoenix. I'm the Blue Phoenix. You can catch me here every Thursday at 8:30. Wednesday night with Mo at 8 o'clock. But before that, at 7, well, on Herspiration Happy Hour. Go in on Red Vision Cinema and check out our films. We have Happy Anniversary. We have Shadow. And then we have a little skit called You Got the Vid. Go in there and check it out.
I am Just Star, the late co-host. Hello. You can catch me on social media. You can catch me at Just Star, and you can catch me here every Thursday night. I would say at 8:30, but then I might get the buzzer. I love y'all anyway. Mwah.
Look at Greg.
Oh, and I am Taylor May Rock at Taylor May Rock on all venues. And this has been the No Filter Show, y'all.
What did you know, bro?